Are you one of those people who looks around your home and thinks to yourself, where in the world did all of this stuff come from? Clothes, tchotchkes, furniture, toys, dishes, decorations, just stuff.
Everywhere. Well, if it helps any, you're not the only one. Did you know that in just 10 years, from 1999 to 2009, self-storage units exploded by 47%?
Now, sure, it's easy to store all of that stuff, but why is it so hard to throw said stuff away? Homeowner Amanda Hampton has never used her two-car garage for what it was intended.
I moved from Holland, where we lived in 1,000 square feet. I never had a garage, so it was sort of like, wow, this extra fabulous space.
But soon stuff shoved her car out of her garage and onto her driveway where it was stolen.
It's made me realize that before I invest in a new car, it would probably be best to create garage space where the car can go so it's inside and it's a bit more secure.
Enter professional organizer Leah Friedman.
What are we doing with this?
Who says typically she has three kinds of clients. People with deceased parents.
Mama is not in the thing. Mama is in our heart.
People who hold on to furniture, and people who can't part with their children's things.
We don't have to hold on to boxes and boxes of Bobby's artwork from when he was in the 3rd grade, and I encourage them just to get rid of it, or we send it to Bobby's house.
It doesn't make any difference where people keep things. Friedman says the problem is the same. People just don't want to make a decision.
I just walk around with them, and basically I give them permission. That's what they're looking for, is to get permission to get rid of this stuff.
Friedman's is a two-pronged job, part organizer, part counselor, and she loves both.
And I also tell people, too, you know, what happens is you die. And it really ends up being your, not to be morbid, but it ends up being your children's problem. And so I always say be kind to your children and start getting rid of the stuff now.
Besides, renting storage space is often throwing away money.
Unless you have a Monet, your stuff is not appreciating.
And one more thing Leah tells her clients, clear out your lives and more good things will arrive, and maybe they won't take up space. America has more than 78 square miles of rentable self-storage space. To put that into perspective, an area more than 3 times the size of Manhattan. And I'll tell you, it's growing. Even here on Delmarva, if you go down Route 9, you see where they cleared out a bunch of trees. Right. They're putting in self-storage. Across Route 9 from that is a new housing development. I gotta wonder if they're taking all the stuff from the housing development, putting it over in the self-storage.
You know, that's what's happening. You know, I want to refer back to the part where she, not to be morbid, but your problem becomes your children's problem. I remember all the stuff that my son had in his room. As far as I'm concerned, he gets what he gets.
He gets what he gets.
Okay, so we took care of storing or purging your stuff. How about transporting your stuff? Whether you're moving, maybe involved in a hefty project, maybe even just doing a little yard work. A utility trailer might just be a good idea.
Yeah, while finding the right trailer for your vehicle might seem daunting, the folks at Creighton's Trailer Sales in Mardella Springs say it's nothing to stress over.
Delmarva Live's Sydney Whitfield got a crash course on trailer towing capacity so that she could show you what you need to know before you go.
So, let's say you've got a truck with intentions to tow a trailer behind it. But now you want to know what size trailer that truck can handle. Chuck Creighton, owner of Creighton's Trailer Sales, says there's a little bit you need to know before you pick the trailer that's right for you. First off, he says all you need to know about towing capacity can be found on your vehicle's hitch.
Well, the owner's manual tells you every single towing capacity for that truck based on drivetrain options. There's several different drivetrain options, and that varies the capacity of the hitches. If you go back to the hitch, there's a decal right on the hitch that tells you exactly what that vehicle is set up to tow for.
Wow. Consider this one of the rare times where you don't have to look at the owner's manual. But that's because Chuck says finding the towing capacity is simple. But of course, that is not to get confused with payload capacity.
Well, payload's usually what you can put right in the back of the truck, what the truck can haul inside of it. Towing capacity is what you can pull behind it. It's usually a different number. You can tow a lot more behind it than you can actually put in the vehicle.
Knowing the difference between hitch load and gross load might come in handy too.
Well, your gross load would be the total weight of the trailer and the payload you have on your trailer. The hitch load is usually 10 to 15% of that weight that's right on the ball, right on the coupling device of the vehicle.
But keeping that in mind, I think it's safe to say that the recurring theme here is pretty straightforward. Size correlates with what you'll be able to carry. Chuck, you're a firm believer that you need the right tool for the right job. And when it comes to towing trailers, that tool is a truck you have. So we borrowed these trucks from Hertrick Salisbury so you can demonstrate the different types of towing capacities that people need to know about. So can you tell me about this one right here?
Yeah, this is what we would call a light duty setup. It's a small truck with a small trailer.
Okay.
It's got the Class 3 receiver hitch on it, which goes up to 7,000 pound on this vehicle. But we got a 3,000 pound trailer hooked to it with a 2-inch ball, 1-inch shank, so it meets the capacities of what they need there.
Okay, so kind of smaller, but
Smaller, regular duty. Then we get into your medium duty stuff there. We've got a 7,000 pound trailer hooked to a half-ton pickup. Towing capacities there is around 12,500 pound, but that's a 7,000 pound trailer.
wow.
And the trailer has electric brakes on it, which the truck needs a device to make that work properly. That one there is equipped with a brake control from the factory. So that'll activate the electric brakes on the trailer as you're towing.
Oh wow, okay. And then tell me about this heavy duty one.
The heavy duty one over there has that Class 5 hitch on it. It's a 2.5-inch receiver. It's rated for up to 18,000 pounds of towing capacity.
All right, so now that we know about the different types of trucks, let's talk about the hitches here. You've got different classes, right?
I've got some examples of the classes here. Your Class 1 and 2 are your 1.25-inch receiver. Your Class 3, 4 are your 2-inch receivers, and your Class 5 is a 2.5-inch receiver.
Okay, great. So now you have the classes here. Then there's also hitches made specifically for the trucks, correct?
Yeah, each vehicle, even cars, can have hitches made directly for them. They make them the capacity of the towing of the car. They don't build a hitch any heavier than what that car will tow. So when we install a hitch here, we install exactly what the towing capacities are for the vehicle.
And if you're still not sure about which trailer to go for, Chuck says he's willing to be your go-to resource.
Come see me. I know what I'm talking about, doing it for 30-some years. I can tell you the right size and be safe on the road.
So there you go. Oh, fun fact about Creighton's, all of the brands there, made in the U.S. The team at Creighton's also takes care of the tag and the title work, so you don't have to make an extra trip to do it yourself. How great is that?
I tell you what, I didn't realize so much was involved in buying a trailer.
Yeah,
You
there you
gotta
go.
know all that stuff.